Good morning, dear 5. Today I'm going to explain present perfect and past simple. First, let's start with the use of the present perfect. We use it for an action that started in the past and continues to the present. For example, here we have I have lost my kids. This means that I lost my kids and till now I didn't find them. Number 2, she has hurt her leg. This means that she hurt her leg and till now her leg is hurt. Let's move to the keyword of the present perfect. Here we have since, for, ever, never, yet, already, almost, just, so far, and recently. And again, since, for, ever, never, yet, already, almost, just, so far, and recently. The form of the present perfect: subject, has or have, and the past participle. For example, here we have John has broken his leg. Here we have John is the subject, has, and broken the past participle of the verb, and here we have his leg. Number 2, I have been to Tokyo. Okay, here we have the subject and has and past participle of the verb. Now let's move with the keywords of the present perfect and their use. Number 1, we have since and for. Since, we use it with a fixed sign in the past. For example, since 2004, since April, since 2018. And now let's read the examples. I have known Julia for 10 years. Ben has had a cold since Monday. Okay? But for with a period of time. For 2 hours, 5 years, and then has had a cold for a week. Okay? Now we have already, almost, and just. They are used in the positive sentences. Has, have, already, almost, just, past participle. Again, already and almost and just come in between verb to have and between the past participle of the verb. For example, Dana has just finished her homework. They have already eaten their lunch. Here we have and just in between, and we have past participle of the verb. And the second sentence we have already eaten. Already is in the middle between have and eaten. Then let's move to ever and never. Ever is used in the question. Never is used in the negative answer. Again, ever in the question and never in the negative answers of the question. Have you ever traveled to China? No, I have never been to China. Here we have yes. Yes, we use it in the negative statements or negative sentences. For example, I haven't done my homework yet. If again, yes is used in the negative sentences. Now let's move to the form of the question. Here we have the form of the question, WH question word, use have or have and the subject in the past participle. Okay, again, we said the form of the question, we use WH question word, and the helping verb in the present perfect, have or have, and the subject, and the verb in past participle form. For example, here we have where has Mona gone. Here, where, WH question, has, the helping verb. Mona, the subject. Gone is the past participle of the verb. Let's move to question 2. What have they done? What, WH question word. Have, the helping verb. They, the subject, and done, the past participle of the verb. Number 3. When has she eaten her ice cream? When, WH question, has helping verb, she subject, past participle, and the constant, her ice cream. Let's move to the negative form in the present perfect. We use haven't and hasn't. And here we have the short form of haven't, we cross the O and we put apostrophe. Then we have hasn't, we cross the O and we put apostrophe. And don't forget that we use yes in the negative sentences. Okay, for example, Carla hasn't done the housework yet. Hasn't is negative, and we put yet as the end of the sentence. Now let's move to the past simple. As we said many times that we use the past simple to talk about actions that happened and finished in the past. Again, we use it to talk about actions that happened and finished in the past. For example, I ate my breakfast this morning. I washed the dishes 3 hours ago. Now let's read the keywords of the past simple together. We have yesterday, last, ago, this morning, in the past, once upon a time when I was young, and any year before 2020. And the form of the past simple, as we said in the past simple, we have regular verb and irregular. Let's start with the regular verb. Regular verbs that are the verbs that we put D, ED, IEC at the end of them. Okay, now we have verbs that end with E, we add D. For example, here we have dance. Dance ends with E. So we are going to put D only, dancer. Number 2, we have move. The verb move ends with E. So we are going to put D only and it will be moved. Okay, now verbs that end with consonant and Y, we drop the Y and put IED. For example, here we have the verb try. Try ends with Y. The letter before it is R. R is a consonant, so we cross the Y and put IED and it will be try. Number two, we have dry. Dry is a verb that ends with Y, and before it we have a consonant, R. So we drop the Y and we put IED, dry. Study the same. Cross the Y and we put IED, studied. Harry the same. Cross the Y and it will be harried. Verbs like clean, we put ED because we don't end with Y or E. Clean, we are going to put ED, it will be clean. Jump, it will be jump. Now let's move to the irregular verbs and let's read some of them. Number 1, here we have is and am. Is and am in the past simple turn to be was. Here we have are, were, eat, ate, drink, drank, sing, sang, drive, drove, fly, flew, write, wrote, write, wrote, has or have, turn to be had, then do or does, did, hang, hung, run, ran, buy, bought, fight, fought, catch, caught, swim, swam, make, made, win, won. And you can move to your booklet and you have a list of the irregular verbs and revise them. Now let's move to the negative form in the past tense. If we have was or were, we use wasn't or were. Again, if we have was or were, we put not after them. In the short form, we cross the O and put apostrophe. The same with were. Were would be were not. The short form would be were. Here I wasn't at home yesterday. They weren't sick last week. Now let's move to the negative form with the verb. We put didn't and infinitive verb. For example, I didn't sleep early last night. Here we have didn't, and after didn't, I have the infinitive verb of the verb sleep. Okay? Here we have the children didn't eat chips yesterday. Here we have didn't, and after didn't, we have infinitive verb eat. Okay. Now we have the WH question. Here we have WH question word and did subject and infinitive verb. For example, we have where did you go yesterday? What did you do last night? I have WH and helping verb and subject. What did you do last night? WH question word, helping verb, subject and infinitive verb. When did clean the house, WH person word, and here I have helping verb with, subject and infinitive verb. Now let's see some examples, and here we have rewrite the following sentences. Number one, I have Andy ate chicken last night. This sentence is in the past simple. Then you are asked to use just. Just is in here we have just is in the present perfect, so we are going to use has and had and the past participle of the verb. Here we have Andy had just eaten chicken. Andy is the subject, has, and here we have just between has and the past participle of the verb, and we have chicken, so Andy has just eaten chicken, and don't forget to cross last night. Then we have number two, Darine has cleaned her room. Here we have question what. The form of the question in the present perfect, WH question word, helping verb, subject and past participle of the verb. So we are going to put what? WH question word. Here, the helping verb is has. Subject, Darine. In the past participle of the verb, you are going to cross the action, cleaned her room, and put done. Okay? Now let's move to number 3. They had their breakfast early. This sentence is in the past simple, and you are asked to use recently. Here we have they have had their breakfast recently. Here in the first sentence we have had. Had is the past simple of the word have. Then here when we enter it we use have, the helping verb, and had is the past participle of the verb. Their breakfast recently. Okay, and don't forget that recently is a key word for the present perfect. Let's move to number 4. I have gone to Tokyo. And here you are asked to use yet. Yet we use it in the negative sentences. And the negative sentences in the present perfect, we put not after have or has. So, I have gone to Tokyo will be I haven't gone to Tokyo yet. And don't forget, if you use yet, we put it at the end of the sentence and we use it with the negative. Goodbye, Junior 5, and see you soon.